There comes a moment when life feels heavy, but you can't explain why. You're doing everything right, checking all the boxes, yet something inside keeps sabotaging your peace. The truth? You're not broken. You're just being run by a mind that was programmed in fear. The unconscious doesn't scream. It whispers through patterns. Through the people you attract, the choices you regret, and the dreams you quietly gave up on. An example of this, take Daniel 36, successful on paper, emotionally drained in silence. Every relationship felt like a battlefield, every goal another weight. He wasn't lazy or unlucky. He was stuck in a subconscious loop of seeking approval, controlling outcomes, fearing rejection. Until one day, burnout hit like a wall. And from that breakdown, he finally asked, "Who's really in charge of my life? Me or my unconscious mind?" This video is not just about awareness. It's about liberation. You'll discover how the unconscious has shaped your identity, beliefs, and emotions without your permission. You'll recognize the invisible threads pulling your strings and how to cut them. What once felt normal will be exposed as sabotage, and what once felt impossible, peace, clarity, emotional freedom, will start to feel natural. So prepare yourself. This won't be comfortable at first, but truth rarely is. What you're about to hear may challenge everything you thought was you. But once you see the programming, you can rewrite it. And when that rewrite begins, your life shifts from control to trust, from resistance to flow. This is where real transformation begins. From an early age, we are conditioned to seek approval. A smile from an adult, a compliment at school. It all feeds the subconscious with one dangerous belief: that love must be earned. This programming becomes a silent dictator. The child grows, but the need to be accepted lingers. Every choice is filtered through invisible eyes, and so a powerful lie takes root: that your worth depends on how much you please others. This need for validation creates a cycle of self-betrayal. Careers, relationships, even values are chosen to meet external expectations. Deep down, there's a fear, an unconscious terror of rejection. The subconscious mind records, "If I don't please, I'll be abandoned." It's not logic, it's emotion. That fear drives exhaustion. And so, without realizing, you become addicted to approval. A drug with no real high, only withdrawal. The subconscious then forms limiting beliefs that hold your authenticity hostage. If I'm not perfect, I won't be loved. If I say no, I'll lose people. These thoughts may not be conscious, but they steer behavior. Self-worth becomes externalized. You become a mirror of what others expect, not a reflection of who you truly are. And slowly, you forget your real face beneath the mask of acceptance. Many try to break free with phrases like, "I don't care what people think," but the subconscious keeps pulling strings. And the body speaks the truth. Social anxiety, over-apologizing, chronic people-pleasing. The roots go deeper than attitude. They live in memory. Releasing this pattern isn't about rebellion. It's about deep mental reprogramming and the courage to face your own emotional mirror. One powerful practice is tracking moments when you act just to please. Journaling these patterns reveals unconscious triggers, saying yes to things you hate, just to avoid disappointing someone, staying in lifeless relationships for fear of looking selfish. These are symptoms of an inner child still begging to be loved, still hoping that being good enough will earn safety. Reprogramming begins when you start choosing yourself. Building real self-trust breaks the cycle. Daily affirmations, guided visualizations, and inner child healing are tools that anchor you back into your truth. A life-changing read is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. It teaches you to witness your ego and subconscious without becoming them. Real freedom is found in presence, not performance. But the real breakthrough comes when you realize you don't have to earn love. You already are love. The subconscious was trained to chase affection as a reward. But once this illusion crumbles, emotional clarity takes its place. And from this sacred inner space, a new force begins to rise. Detachment, the next step on your path to inner liberation. Control is nothing more than the ego's illusion to protect old wounds. On the surface, it looks like responsibility, order, and strength. But underneath it hides fear. Fear of chaos, loss, betrayal. The subconscious builds rigid systems to avoid the unknown. But life doesn't operate in straight lines, it flows in spirals. And the more we try to contain it, the more we disconnect from our own essence. For many, control was a survival tool. Childhoods filled with instability trained the mind to micromanage everything. If I control, I won't get hurt. But this mindset drains life force. It creates tension, hypervigilance, and emotional burnout. The subconscious tries to stop pain, but only ends up replicating it. Because what we resist, we feed. And what we feed grows in silence. The illusion of control doesn't only apply to tasks, it creeps into relationships. People demand guarantees, manipulate outcomes, and monitor others out of fear, not love. What we call jealousy is often just trauma in disguise. What we call planning is sometimes just avoidance of uncertainty. Control becomes a cage, and inside, the soul forgets how to breathe. A clear example is someone who panics when plans change, or someone who checks their partner's phone out of care. It's not love. It's emotional reactivity rooted in the subconscious. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Control is not power. It's a symptom of fear dressed in logic. Reprogramming this pattern requires surrender. Techniques like breathwork, surrender meditations, and stream of consciousness journaling help soften the mind's grip. A simple but profound question can unlock insight. What am I afraid would happen if I let go? That answer will reveal your deepest fear and your path to healing. True freedom comes not from clinging, but from trusting. The subconscious softens when it realizes it's safe without controlling. When the body relaxes, clarity returns. When the heart opens, flow begins. The law of attraction responds to energy, not effort. Life starts to move with you, not against you, because you've stopped resisting it. When control dissolves, presence takes its place. You stop fixing and start listening. And what's meant to stay stays effortlessly. What leaves frees you. From this place of peace emerges a new kind of strength, conscious detachment. Not cold, not careless, but clear. That is the path of the awakened soul. Detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's the ability to stay connected without being enslaved. The subconscious resists letting go because it equates release with loss. But most of what we hold on to, relationships, roles, identities, is not out of love, but out of fear. Fear of emptiness, fear of being no one without the old story. People often cling to pain because it's familiar. The toxic job, the draining relationship, the outdated self-image, they all feel like home to the subconscious. What if nothing better comes? That's the voice of scarcity. But the truth is, what weighs you down isn't meant to stay. Letting go isn't failure. It's sacred alignment. Since childhood, we've been taught to endure, to prove, to persist even when something is killing us slowly. We romanticize struggle. But real strength is knowing when a cycle has ended. Even Jesus spoke of pruning the vine so it may bear more fruit. Releasing is not giving up. It's making room for the divine to enter. There's a hidden belief. If I let go, I'll have nothing. But you are not what you cling to. Detachment breaks the identity illusion. When you stop feeding what's dying, something new is born. The subconscious needs rituals to rewire. Burn old letters. Delete outdated contacts. Close the emotional tabs that drain your spirit. Tools like energetic cord cutting, visualization, and conscious grieving help reprogram the mind to feel safe in the unknown. Detachment isn't about erasing love. It's about honoring truth. You can love and let go. You can thank and release. And when you do, you prove to the subconscious, I trust what's coming more than I fear what's leaving. The moment you let go of what no longer resonates, peace enters. Your nervous system relaxes. Your decisions become aligned. You don't chase, you attract. Detachment is magnetic. It creates space for the highest version of your life to unfold. And in that space, your ideal self rises, whole, radiant, powerful. And so from the ashes of what you released, something holy rises, a deeper sense of self, a wider trust in the invisible, a power that doesn't need control, validation, or perfection. Detachment becomes a sacred invitation to live in truth, to walk in light, to love without chains. Authentic relationships are not built when we try to fix others, but when we stop projecting our pain onto them. The subconscious, wounded and afraid, turns the partner into a savior, and love becomes burden. Expectation replaces connection. We're not in a relationship, we're in a reenactment of childhood wounds. Many confuse love with attachment, control with care, and dependence with intimacy. But those are survival patterns. When you demand someone change for the relationship to work, what you're really saying is, I'm afraid you'll leave me like they did. The subconscious replays the past in a loop until we become aware. Behind every toxic pattern is a frightened inner child. The one who was ignored, left behind, misunderstood. That child seeks comfort in adult relationships. But comfort is not always healing. True love begins when you stop asking the other to fill a hole and start taking responsibility for your own wounds. People try to get their partner to prove love through texts, words, presence. But that's not love. It's emotional hunger. It's the subconscious trying to recreate familiar dynamics, even if they were painful. Neville Goddard said, "You attract what you believe you are." So if you feel unworthy, you'll find someone who validates that belief. Healing this begins with one question. What do I expect them to give me that I don't give myself? Self-reflection, therapeutic journaling, inner work, all lead to deeper emotional maturity. From there, love becomes a choice, not a need. A space for growth, not control. A field of freedom, not a battleground. As the subconscious no longer demands constant proof of love, the heart breathes. Love becomes present, not performative. Imperfections are embraced. Silence is safe. Space is honored. That's when a relationship becomes sacred. A mirror, not a mask. A vessel for truth, not manipulation. And within this sacred space, you start to see your worth clearly. You're not desperate for love. You become love. You're not terrified of being left. You are full even when alone. This is the emotional maturity that transforms not just your relationships, but your entire life. Perfection is a cage. The subconscious was programmed to equate love with performance. If I do it right, they'll love me. If I fail, they'll leave. This belief becomes a silent tyrant. Life turns into an endless test, where mistakes mean danger and vulnerability feels like weakness. But in truth, imperfection is power. This mindset breeds self-criticism. People become harsh with themselves and others. There's no room for grace, everything is pressure. Everything must prove worth. What's disguised as self-discipline is often just fear in a suit. But a soul can't evolve in shame. Growth needs safety, not scrutiny. The subconscious learns to hide its flaws to avoid rejection. So people wear masks of success, confidence, constant happiness. But inside, they're tired, exhausted, lonely. What they truly long for isn't applause, it's authenticity. A space where they can be messy and still be loved. Real reprogramming begins with self-compassion, not fixing, but feeling. Books like The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown open this door. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's truth. It's what makes connection possible. The more you accept yourself, the more life reflects back your worth. When you allow yourself to fail without shame, you expand. You learn faster, heal deeper, love fuller. The ideal self isn't flawless, it's integrated. It honors both strength and softness. Jesus embraced the outcast. Jung embraced the shadow. Your power lives in your wholeness, not in your perfection. This shift changes everything. Decisions come from intuition, not fear. You stop comparing. You stop proving. You simply are. And in that being, there's peace. Because you've stopped fighting yourself. You're no longer your harshest judge. You've become your greatest ally. And in that peace, something beautiful happens. Presence. A calm, grounded presence that doesn't chase love, it radiates it. The subconscious stops sabotaging because it's no longer afraid. You don't need to be perfect to be victorious. You just need to be real. And the real you is already enough. Now is the time to pause and reflect. What are you still holding on to that you should have released long ago? Which fears, expectations, or relationships are taking up too much space inside you? And the most important question, how long will you let your unconscious run the show without your permission? If something in this video stirred your soul, it's because a deeper part of you recognizes the truth. Don't ignore this awakening. Don't silence this clarity. Start small, say no, where you used to say yes, breathe instead of controlling, and honor your imperfections instead of hiding them. You are not here to survive by pleasing or performing. You are here to live fully, love freely, and lead your life from within. The unconscious only controls what you refuse to see, but now you see it. And now, you have the power to choose again. Drop a comment and share. Which part of this video cracked something open for you? What belief are you ready to release today? And if you're serious about going deeper, especially into how your subconscious operates while you sleep, watch this next. What happens to your mind while you sleep? The revelation no one is ready to hear. Click it, subscribe, and keep rising.